You thought eating fruit was always safe, but your knees kept hurting anyway. You're sitting at your kitchen table, a bowl of fresh fruit in front of you, blueberries, grapes, pineapple, all the things you were told were healthy. But then you stand up, your knees crack, ache and wobble just enough to remind you something's not right. You've done everything by the book, walked daily, watched your sugar, even swapped cookies for bananas. So why do your legs still feel weaker with each passing year? What if some of those fruits you've trusted were quietly working against you? No, this isn't some fear-mongering clickbait. It's a wake-up call. Because after 60, your body becomes more sensitive to imbalances in sugar, inflammation, and muscle breakdown. And yes, certain fruits might be tipping the scale. Most people don't know this, but the natural sugars and acids in some fruits can spike blood glucose, trigger joint inflammation, or disrupt potassium balance. Over time, these silent culprits can wear down the strength in your legs, especially your knees, where inflammation loves to settle. That's why so many older adults feel worse despite eating right. In this video, we're going to reveal 8 fruits that may be secretly weakening your legs. Not because fruits are evil, but because your body at 65 reacts differently than it did at 35. We'll explain how each fruit works inside your body, what makes it potentially risky for seniors, and how to replace it wisely without losing the joy of a sweet bite. So stay with me until the end. Some of these fruits might shock you, not because they're exotic or rare, but because they're probably sitting in your fridge right now. And if you've been waking up with stiff knees or feeling like your legs can't support you as well as they used to, this could be the missing link. Now let's begin with the first fruit on the list. It's juicy, tropical, and praised for digestion. But for your knees, it might be doing more harm than good. Pineapple. Sweet, juicy, refreshing. For years, it's been marketed as a miracle fruit, especially for digestion and inflammation. That's because it contains bromelain, an enzyme that's said to reduce swelling. But here's the twist. For people over 60, especially those with sensitive joints or chronic inflammation, pineapple might actually backfire. Why? Because pineapple is acidic and high in fructose. Its natural sugars can quickly spike your blood, glucose levels, and repeated sugar spikes, yes, even from fruits, can quietly trigger inflammatory responses in the joints. If you've ever felt your knees ache more after a fruit-packed smoothie, you're not imagining things, and it doesn't stop there. Pineapple's acidity can irritate the stomach lining, especially in older adults who already produce less protective stomach acid. That leads to poor nutrient absorption, especially of calcium and magnesium, 2 minerals critical for muscle strength and bone support. The result? Legs that feel weaker, joints that scream louder, and energy that drains faster. Let's be clear, pineapple isn't the villain. But large portions, frequent consumption, or combining it with other high fructose fruits can create a perfect storm. It's all about balance. If your knees hurt after breakfast or your legs feel tired mid-morning, take a look at what's on your plate. A bowl of pineapple might be delivering more pain than power. Instead, consider switching to low glycemic fruits with anti-inflammatory properties like berries or kiwi in moderation. They're less likely to spike your blood sugar or irritate your gut, and they still give you that natural sweetness you crave. Up next, we'll explore another fruit that might seem innocent, especially because it's often recommended for hydration. But its sugar content hides a secret that could be sabotaging your legs one bite at a time. Stay with me. On a hot day, nothing feels more refreshing than a slice of cold watermelon. It's 90% water, low in calories, and packed with vitamin C. Sounds perfect, right? But here's the catch. Especially if you're over 60 and struggling with leg weakness or joint pain, watermelon might be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Watermelon has a high glycemic index. That means it causes your blood sugar to rise rapidly after eating. For older adults, especially those with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or insulin resistance, that spike can trigger a cascade of problems, starting with chronic inflammation. And guess where that inflammation likes to settle? That's right, your knees, ankles, and hips. But there's more. Repeated sugar spikes lead to something called glycation, where excess sugar damages proteins in your body, including collagen, which helps keep joints flexible and muscles strong. Over time, this silent process weakens your connective tissue, leaving your legs feeling unstable or fatigued, even after simple tasks like walking to the mailbox. And while watermelon is hydrating, its mineral balance isn't ideal for muscle function. It lacks the potassium and magnesium levels that older adults often need more of. So while it quenches your thirst, it doesn't do much to support muscle recovery or nerve health. That's a dangerous trade-off when your legs are already losing strength with age. Here's what you can do. If you love watermelon, eat it in small amounts and always pair it with a source of protein or healthy fat, like a handful of almonds or a boiled egg. This slows the absorption of sugars and reduces the blood sugar spike. And consider replacing it sometimes with cucumber, which hydrates just as well, but without the sugar bomb. Coming up next, a fruit that looks harmless, tiny, soft, and often added to breakfast bowls. But under the surface, it might be feeding silent inflammation and weakening the muscles that keep you standing strong. They're small, sweet, and oh so easy to snack on. Grapes often show up in fruit salads, lunchboxes, and even as a healthy, TV time treat. But if your knees have been aching and your legs feel weaker than they used to, those innocent little grapes might be doing more harm than good. Here's why. Grapes are extremely high in natural sugars, specifically glucose and fructose. Just a small handful can deliver a sugar load that's deceptively powerful. And unlike fruits that come with fiber and resistance, grapes are digested quickly. That means the sugar rush hits hard and fast, spiking your blood sugar, which triggers inflammation. For adults over 60, this is especially concerning. Age naturally reduces insulin sensitivity, and that makes the body slower to process sugar. The result? Those sugar spikes linger longer, and your joints, especially your knees and ankles, feel the effect. Swelling, stiffness, and muscle fatigue become common, even when you're trying to eat clean. Another hidden problem: grapes contain oxalates. These naturally occurring compounds can interfere with calcium absorption and, in some people, even contribute to joint pain and kidney issues. If you've been dealing with nagging leg cramps, stiffness in your joints, or increased bathroom visits, your grape habit might be worth reviewing. So, what can you do instead? Replace grapes with fruits that offer more fiber and antioxidants, like raspberries or blackberries. They help regulate blood sugar and reduce inflammation, two key players in protecting your legs as you age. And now let's look at a fruit that many believe to be heart-healthy. It shows up in salads, breakfast bowls, and even juices. But for seniors battling inflammation and weakness, it might be silently sapping your strength. Oranges, America's favorite morning fruit, a symbol of health, energy, and immunity. And yes, they're rich in vitamin C, which is essential for collagen production and immune support. But here's what most people over 60 don't realize. When it comes to joint health and muscle strength, oranges might be a double-edged sword. Let's break it down. Oranges are acidic. That acidity can irritate the digestive tract, especially in older adults with sensitive stomachs or mild gastritis, a common underdiagnosed condition after 60. Poor digestion means poor nutrient absorption, and when your body can't pull enough calcium, magnesium, or vitamin D from your food, your muscles pay the price. Second, despite their healthy reputation, oranges have a relatively high glycemic load. When consumed in juice form, or even when eaten in excess, they can spike your blood sugar. That leads to the same inflammation we've discussed in previous chapters. Inflammation that settles in the joints, tightens the muscles, and quietly robs your legs of stability and comfort. Here's another layer. Oranges are rich in citric acid and ascorbic acid. While these are natural, they can contribute to uric acid buildup in sensitive individuals. That's one of the risk factors for gout, which commonly affects the knees and feet, especially in seniors. If you felt sharp joint pain or sudden swelling, citrus might be part of the problem. What's the fix? Instead of cutting out oranges completely, watch your portions. Eat the whole fruit rather than drinking juice, and combine it with nuts or seeds to slow sugar absorption. And on days your knees feel extra inflamed, reach for anti-inflammatory fruits like papaya or pomegranate instead. Up next, we're tackling a fruit that's everywhere: breakfast bowls, smoothies, desserts. It's creamy, convenient, and it might be silently interfering with your potassium balance. Yes, we're talking about bananas. Bananas are often called the perfect snack. They're convenient, affordable, and filled with potassium, a mineral that supports muscle function. So why would bananas be on a list of fruits that could weaken your legs after 60? The answer lies in what happens after you eat them. First, bananas are high in natural sugars, especially when ripe. One large banana can contain up to 17 grams of sugar, which may spike blood glucose in older adults whose insulin response has slowed with age. That sugar spike doesn't just affect your energy, it creates inflammation. And inflammation is the enemy of strong joints and stable legs. Second, the potassium in bananas is helpful, but only when balanced properly with other electrolytes like magnesium, calcium, and sodium. If you're eating multiple bananas a day or pairing them with other high potassium foods, you may be tipping the balance. For seniors on blood pressure medication or diuretics, this can be especially risky, potentially leading to muscle cramping, weakness, or even irregular heart rhythms. There's also the fiber factor. While bananas offer some fiber, it's not always enough to slow digestion significantly, especially in overripe bananas. This makes the sugar hit your bloodstream faster, giving that quick burst of energy followed by a crash. And what do most people do when that crash hits? They reach for another banana. Here's a better strategy. Enjoy bananas in moderation and choose them when they're slightly green, less ripe. Pair them with a protein source like Greek yogurt or peanut butter to create balance. And rotate them with lower glycemic fruits like apples or pears, which support blood sugar stability without compromising leg strength. Next, we're looking at a fruit that sounds luxurious and feels indulgent, but it might be overloading your liver, triggering sugar fatigue, and quietly draining your muscle power. Let's talk about figs. Figs are often praised for their fiber, their minerals, and their sweetness. They're a staple in Mediterranean diets and frequently recommended for digestion. But if you're over 60 and struggling with joint pain, leg fatigue, or muscle weakness, it's time to take a closer look at what figs are really doing to your body. First, figs are sugar-dense, especially dried figs. One small dried fig can contain up to 8 grams of sugar. Eat just 3, and you've consumed more sugar than a scoop of ice cream. And unlike fresh fruits with high water content, dried figs are concentrated. That means the sugar hits your bloodstream fast, and your body, already more insulin resistant with age, has to scramble to process it. This sugar spike doesn't just fuel inflammation. It also forces your pancreas to overwork, increasing fatigue and contributing to that sluggish feeling in your legs. Plus, the rapid rise and fall in blood sugar levels can leave you with less energy for walking, standing, or climbing stairs. But that's not all. Figs are high in oxalates, just like grapes. And in sensitive individuals, especially older adults, oxalates can lead to joint irritation, kidney strain, and calcium binding, robbing your bones and muscles of the support they need to stay strong and stable. And while fiber is good, too much of it, especially when introduced suddenly, can cause bloating, cramps, and digestive distress. all of which make it harder to stay active, move comfortably, or stick to a routine that supports leg strength and mobility. So what's the alternative? If you love figs, enjoy them fresh and in small amounts, and balance them with healthy fats and lean proteins to blunt the sugar impact. Better yet, switch to fruits like blueberries or kiwi, which still deliver antioxidants and fiber without the sugar overload. And finally, we arrive at the last fruit on our list. It's creamy, trendy, and often labeled a superfood. But for seniors, especially those with circulation issues or reduced mobility, this fruit could be working against your legs in ways you never expected. Yes, avocados. Creamy, rich, and full of healthy fats, they've become a breakfast staple for many, especially those aiming to eat clean after 60. But is this trendy superfruit always as harmless as it seems? When it comes to leg strength, circulation, and joint health, the answer might surprise you. Let's start with portion control. Avocados are calorie-dense. One medium fruit contains over 200 calories and about 20 grams of fat. While these fats are largely monounsaturated, the good kind, too much of them, without balancing your overall intake, can slow down digestion and increase overall body weight. And every extra pound puts more pressure on your knees and joints. Another overlooked issue, avocados are naturally high in potassium. While that's beneficial in many ways, older adults, especially those on blood pressure medication, ACE inhibitors, or potassium-sparing diuretics, may already be at risk of hyperkalemia, too much potassium in the blood. The symptoms: fatigue, muscle weakness, and in extreme cases, leg cramps or even heart complications. And here's the emotional angle. Many seniors trying to eat healthy lean heavily into daily avocado toast, smoothies, and salads. But if you're eating large amounts regularly, without adjusting your other meals, you might be unintentionally shifting your nutrient balance. Less protein, less magnesium, less variety. And over time, your muscles and joints feel the difference. What can you do instead? Keep avocado portions to about 1/3 of a fruit per meal. Pair it with leafy greens, lean protein, and whole grains to support a full spectrum of nutrients. And don't assume that because something is labeled a superfood, it's always the best option for your specific body. After 60, your legs carry your life. They hold your memories, your independence, your freedom. And yet, every bite you take can either support that strength or chip away at it silently. The truth is, no fruit is inherently bad. But after 60, your body's chemistry changes. What worked in your 40s might not serve you in your 70s. That's not failure, it's just biology. And the more informed you are, the more power you have to age with vitality, strength, and dignity. If you found this information helpful, don't leave without subscribing. We share new videos every week to help you feel stronger, healthier, and more in control of your body. Leave a like to support this kind of content. And tell us in the comments, which of these fruits surprised you the most? Or even better, how? Old are you, and from which city are you watching? We'd love to know who you are. Your journey matters. Let's walk it together with stronger legs, one smart choice at a time.